أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. The the Stele and the early Exodus model EEM. If it is assumed that the early Exodus model is correct, then it must have been 200 years in the time of Merneptah. There is a logical possibility that Pharaoh lied completely, or the Pharaoh authored a complete false sentence. This means Israelis were not attacked at all, but it's probable the claim of this probability is low but not zero. So when I say the word probability, it means neither certainty nor impossibility. So 0 and 1 both are excluded. It will be not repeated further, but it must be kept in mind. This means Israelis were not attacked at all, but its probability is low and not zero. To call a well settled group of people in land as if they are just unsettled group is an error or a falsehood with certainty in a certainly false sentence. To say that Israel perished is a false sentence, and the falsehood is with certainty. To say the Israeli seed ceased means one of the two things. Either it means zoological offspring of Israelites. In this sense, it is false with certainty. If it means botanical offsprings or botanical plants, say crops, then this is possible and probable. Why Tanakh did not mention it as if it did not occur? The attack, Tanakh does not say that the Pharaoh attacked in the year of his reign, in the years of his reign or his regime. The possible and probable thing is that it was a minor conflict which probably ended in a stalemate, but during the attack, Pharaoh's army burned some lands of crops. Now we can read and this page. Now Pharaoh claimed his victory. This is, however, probability into probability. Well, probability, it is probable that it was a crop problem, and another probability that some crops were burnt. So probability into probability, and if we multiply with more probabilities, the net results become less. This is, however, probability into probability. There is no evidence that Israelis suffered great losses by pharaohs during the period of Merneptah. So a minor conflict, not even worthy to be mentioned, was converted in a claim of victory. And even that conflict must have ended in a stalemate. Even this is a false sentence. Even this is a false sentence in its parts. It is in the last of other claims of victories. So we may say that the early Exodus model EED is less probable if this Stele is true in some sense. Well, it is false in many senses. What if we suppose absolute silence as the negation? Then the Pharaoh authored a sentence which is false with certainty. So this is the problem. Many people try to use this Stele, supposing that there was a conflict between Israelites and Kemetic forces. The Semitic forces and the Kemetic forces clashed some time in the period or during the reign or during the regime of Merneptah. But if this is the case, then it is a very minor conflict, and Pharaoh's army must have returned, and this would have ended in a stalemate. But and this is the only reason that it is not mentioned in Tanakh. If it had been mentioned, it would have been mentioned, it might have taken one or two verses. Well, for example, we might suppose a verse like that the armies of Pharaoh in the year of Merneptah attacked, and Lord or God saved Israelites from them. That's not more than that. So what we can say that early Exodus model, it is in early Exodus model, it is more probable that the entire sentence is false and there was no attack on Israelites. The Pharaoh lied completely, but there is still a probability, and I'm never talking about certainty unless stated otherwise, that it was a minor conflict. But even in this conflict, the statement is false in two parts. As the statement is false in two parts with certainty, this means that we have to suppose that there was a conflict, and this statement is according to this supposition. So why Pharaoh has said such a thing? But one thing is certain, that this sentence, which is false, does show that the Pharaoh knew Israelites. It was in the knowledge of, but he lied about them. So if this sentence is true, at least in the sense or in the meaning that the Pharaoh did know and there was a conflict, if this is true, then it was very minor. The sentence is false in two parts, and it may be noted that still it is a supposition. Now in the next we will see the late Exodus model, LEM, and then see Merneptah's Stele, and we will discuss this independent of this video. Hope that this will solve the basics of the problem.